And I'm back. So, as I promised last week, I told you we had Disney's Investors Day that just threw an avalanche of information at us. So I tried to keep them a little bit separate. You gotta keep them separated. And so last week I did Marvel. Today I'm going to be doing Star Wars, and sometime this week I will be doing everything else like Pixar and all that stuff, because there's a lot of interesting stuff. Honestly, there's a particular trailer that I really want to break down because I half like it and I half hate it, but we'll get into that. Right now, Star Wars and Disney's Investors Day, all the news that came down recently. Let's break it down. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
So, is anybody else just like ridiculously tired? I'm exhausted. I noticed this the other day. I was talking with my sister. Well, not the other day. Today, I woke up at around 3 a.m. and I was like, I woke up in a panic. I gotta do something. And I realized that my body is kind of like in puppy mode because we have to move them every few hours. And so every few hours, like just wake up and And I also noticed that my ears are like really sensitive. It's kind of annoying. It's one of those things that I was sleeping in my room and I could hear my dad and my kid brother talking on the other side of the house. It's like, oh shit, my ears are like really alert. So maybe that's why I'm tired. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it's not too bad, and hopefully you can understand me, and I'm just not exactly. Hopefully that's not happening. Anyway, so before we get into it, let me just give a quick reminder that any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World. Also streaming on YouTube and on Twitch at Super Dario World. If you want to check out this video later, I will be uploaded to YouTube. I think it takes a few hours, so maybe it's going to be by tomorrow morning. But if you want to like have the visuals and stuff, there you go. You can find it on YouTube at Super Dario World. So let's get into this whole thing because there's a lot of news, and most of it is from Disney's Investors Day, but I found a little tidbit that I want to start with, and it was an interview with George Lucas where he talks about why he decided to sell the Star Wars franchise when he did. So, George, for those of you who don't know, the Star Wars franchise was created by George Lucas. And so about in the early 2000s, he sold the rights to Disney. Let me see if I can double check. Yeah, no, in 2012, Disney officially acquired Lucasfilms, which is, the company that George Lucas's company, for about $4 billion. And since then, they've had full control over the Star Wars franchise and, a few other titles that were created by George Lucas, like Indiana Jones and stuff like that. So, in a recent interview, George finally opened up about why he decided to sell Star Wars when he did, and why, because a lot of people thought that he had just burned out with the franchise, but it's to me it always made sense. Why would George Lucas sell Star Wars? Because of $4 billion. That's why. That's stupid money. That's FU money. I don't have to work ever. Nope. Like 3 generations of my family at least, even if they're dumb with money, don't have to work ever. So I understood it perfectly. But here's his statement. It's a long one, so bear with me. Okay, so this is from an interview he had with writer Paul Duncan, and he's apparently said extract from his new book. Why would he release this particular tidbit? I don't know, because to me it seems like one of the most interesting questions, but whatever. Here we go. This is quoting George Lucas. Start quote. At the time I was starting the next trilogy, I talked to the actors and I was starting to gear up. I was also about to have a daughter with my wife. It takes 10 years to make a trilogy. Episodes 1 to 3 took from 1995 to 2005. I'd still be working on episode 9. In 2012, I was 69, so the question was, am I going to keep doing this the rest of my life? Do I want to go through this again? Finally, I decided I'd rather raise my daughter and enjoy my life for a while. I could have not sold Lucasfilms and gotten somebody to run the productions, but that isn't retiring. On Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, I tried to stay out of the way, but I couldn't. I was there every day. Even though the people were friends of mine and they did great work, it wasn't the same as me doing it. It was like being once removed. I knew that that probably wouldn't work again, that I'd be frustrated. I'm one of those micromanager guys, and I can't help it. So I figured I would forgo that, enjoy what I had, and I was looking forward to raising my daughter. Also, I wanted to build a museum, which I'd always wanted to do. So I was thinking, if I don't do this now, I'll never get that done. I spent my life creating Star Wars, 40 years, and giving it up was very, very painful, but it was the right thing to do. I thought I was going to have a little bit more to say about the next three because I'd already started them, but they decided they wanted to do something else. Things don't always work the way you want it. Life is like that. So, the way I read it is he did it for the money. He was tired, which is perfectly respectable. He created something. He's tired and he wants money. Honestly, good for you. Get the money, get the payout, retire. Enjoy it. The other part of it, the last bit, is he wished he would have had a little bit more to say with the last three. He could have put that in the contract. So I don't think he wanted it that hard. Or definitely not that hard. Also, I think it's his way of saying he's not a fan. He noticed that he didn't give him any praise whatsoever. It's like, oh, they want to do something different and it was great. No. Or it was good. No. It was fine. No. Doesn't say anything. Just says things don't work out the way you want it. And that's the problem when you give up your baby. Somebody else can do whatever they want with it. So it's one of those things where it's like, is $4 billion worth your life's work, your legacy? Yeah. In the sense that no matter what Disney does is not going to tarnish George's legacy. Even he couldn't tarnish his own legacy, and he tried very hard. But I don't think that that in on the long run, because people are like, oh, he created Star Wars, and these are his movies, and these are the good ones, and everything else has been good or bad. But we know what the movies are, and we know which ones worked and which didn't, and we know which ones sucked. So I think his legacy is fine, and he got a $4 billion payday. It just sucks to see somebody else do something that you may not agree with your franchise. But I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you can wipe your tears with money. So I mean, if he sold it. So what can you do? You screwed. You fucked. You screwed yourself over, George. So either way, you're doing fine. Honestly, you're doing fine. Like I said, wipe your tears with money. Anyway, moving on. We have now we're moving into the Disney's Investors Day, particularly all the Star Wars stuff. So first little bit of news. It's confirmed that actor Hayden Christensen will be back as Anakin Skywalker for Disney Plus's Kenobi. So, for those of you who don't know, Hayden Christensen played Anakin Skywalker in the Attack of the Clones and and the Revenge of the Sith. So, he is widely considered the worst actor in those two films. However, he is a great lightsaber duelist. Like, his fight with Obi-Wan Kenobi is legit. Like, the dude at least knows how to use a lightsaber. Here, fortunately, he will be probably wearing the Darth Vader suit, so we won't be having to see much of his face or his terrible acting, which is always a good thing. And to be fair, not to just be a total dick about it, I have heard that the way that he delivered the lines in Attack of the Clones, in Revenge of the Sith, is the way that he was directed to do it. So it wasn't his choice. It was just like, all right, this is how they're telling me to do it. And George Lucas actually was forcing them to do it that way. So take that any way you want. It could be excuses from one way or the other. But let's just say I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Also, I'm very excited for this particular show. Supposedly, it's going to be just like a mini series because, I mean, we already kind of know what happens with Obi-Wan. They could still probably squeeze a few years out of it, but I doubt it. Also, I think Ewan McGregor will be way too expensive, but you never know. So the news breaks. It's Hayden Christensen returns to Darth Vader, joining Ewan McGregor in Obi-Wan Kenobi. The original series begins 10 years after the dramatic events of Revenge of the Sith and is coming to Disney+. So, at this particular point in time, I think Darth Vader is probably already done hunting down the rest of the Jedis. Who the hell knows what Obi-Wan's doing? So, it should be interesting. I mean, I can't imagine Obi-Wan just hanging out in Tatooine. He does make a few appearances in Rebels and stuff like that, but it's not 100% clear what the hell Obi-Wan did for 15 years other than babysit Luke from a distance for those 15 years. It's also not confirmed when the series will be airing, but it's supposedly going to be they will start filming in spring this of 2021. So hopefully it won't be that long. The show is also being the showrunner is a woman named Deborah Cho. She's also going to be directing a whole bunch of stuff. I looked at her IMDb. She's directed quite a few things. She's directed a few episodes of The Mandalorian. She's directed American Gods, the TV show Better Call Saul, Lost in Space, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Reign, Mr. Robot. So she's in the world of it. So okay, all right. And also she's got like a buttload of other executive producers and producers helping out because I think this is her first producer role. So the show has potential. You have somebody who's kind of in the business, who knows at least the let's say the geek world, who's handled it well. If she also did Fear the Walking Dead a few episodes. So if she did the episodes that I think that she did, they were pretty good. So well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. You know, I'm actually very excited for this show, mainly for the return of the cast from the prequels, because that lightsaber duel between Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi is top 3 in the franchise. And I say that way because a lot of people complain when I say it's the second best one, but whatever. It's top 3 in the franchise. I don't think anybody can argue there. Also, if they decide to finally use Darth Vader the right way, this could be fantastic. That final scene in Rogue One where Darth Vader shows up is the best scene in any Star Wars movie ever. Fight me. I don't give a fuck. That is the truth, and you know it. That's the best thing that any ever created that has Star Wars in it. Darth Vader in that little corridor, that final scene, I love it. So if they use Darth Vader that way, this could be very exciting. It should not only could, it should be very exciting. They can only fuck this up, you know? It's one of the things that you can only fuck this up. It's such a slam dunk that it's on you if you fuck it up. Anyway, moving on. It's been announced a couple of series were announced for Disney Plus. First, we got a Droid Story, and I'll just read you the thing. Lucasfilm Animation is teaming up with Lucasfilm's visual effects team, Industrial Lights and blah blah blah, to develop a special Star Wars adventure film for Disney Plus, a Droid Story. This epic journey will introduce us to a new hero guided by R2-D2 and C-3PO. So, I don't particularly care too much about this one. Honestly, I don't care that much about. I don't like robots. All right, I can't stress that enough. I don't like robots. I don't trust them. So they annoy me a little bit, and they're funny. They do their part, but they're mostly a complement to the characters. For example, in A New Hope, the movie starts following R2-D2 and C-3PO, and once you meet Luke, you kind of don't care about the other ones. So you kind of don't care. Like C-3PO and R2-D2, they become background characters. You don't care about them as much anymore. But like I said, it all depends on who they're complimenting. If they're just complimenting each other, it could get old pretty quickly. But if they're complimenting a cool hero, we'll see. I'll read you a quote here. As we continue to develop new stories, the intersection of animation and visual effects offers new opportunity for us to explore. This epic journey will introduce us to a new hero guided by our most iconic duo on a secret mission known only to them. What could possibly go wrong? The most iconic duo in Star Wars is Han Solo and Chewbacca. That is the most iconic duo. Again, fight me. I don't give a fuck. That's the truth, and you know it. Anyway, so this one, it's not exactly clear when it will be released, but supposedly it will be coming out 2021. Again, we'll see. It's not clear what timeline is it. It can't be before the prequels because C-3PO and R2-D2 hadn't met yet. It could be in the time between episode 3 and episode 4 when their memory banks got erased, but then what the hell happened to that particular hero? Who knows? That could be interesting. It could be in the time period between episode 6 and episode 7. You know, after the destruction of the second Death Star. Who knows? I'll keep you updated as soon as I get more information on this one. Now, the other series that actually sounds extremely entertaining and I'm very excited for is called Star Wars Visions. Now, this is an original series of animated shorts that celebrates the Star Wars galaxy through the lens of the world's best Japanese anime creators. I'll say that again. Anime creators will be making Star Wars short films. This is beyond exciting for me. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this, but for the past few months, whenever there's a bit of tidbit of anime news, I keep saying that this is the way of the future, and the way of the future, and that it's going to become more and more popular and bigger and bigger and bigger in the West. And lo and behold, one of the biggest franchises in the world has now opened up its doors for Japanese anime creators to start using their product in their style. Who could have predicted that? This guy. I said it. It's happening, and I'm very, very, very excited for it. This is great because the Star Wars universe is like if you've seen Clone Wars and all that stuff, especially the animated version for Cartoon Network, the 10 episode short. It's a great opportunity for them to use anime style, animations. It's fantastic. It's ripe for the plucking. Especially lightsaber duels. Are you kidding me, dude? I will, this could also suck, but it's supposed there's going to be 10 short films. I will be breaking down all of them, so you can look forward to this. This is one of the things that I'm looking forward to the most. There's two things that I'm very particularly excited about, and the third one is Kenobi, because it still has the potential of being fucked up. It depends on what story they want to tell and how much they want to retcon stuff, but there's two that I'm just completely excited for. This is one of them. It should be a lot of fun, and so hopefully you're now excited for it as well. Like I said, it's coming 2021 to Disney Plus, so there you go. Moving on. Next piece of news is from the TV show, again for Disney Plus, the limited series, Cassian. What's the name? Spinoff Andor. I'm sorry, that's Andor, that Disney animated limited series, miniseries called Andor. Now, this is based on Diego Luna's character from Rogue One, Cassian Andor. If you guys remember, Rogue One, probably the second best movie with Star Wars in it. Like I said, it has at least the best scene in all of Star Wars, the Darth Vader scene at the end. Cassian Andor is one of the characters in this film, and basically, he's a rebel who explores, who's kind of also a spy, and I'll just read you here. The spy thriller series will explore tales of espionage and daring missions to restore hope to the galaxy in the grip of a ruthless empire. This should be very exciting. Honestly, I'm very much looking forward to this, because one of the things that's been really, really desperately lacking in anything Star Wars is the actual war part. There's a lot of battles for sure, but actually feeling like you're in the middle of a war, and an information war where you're trying to get information from the villain, when you're actually trying to infiltrate and all that stuff. So the Clone Wars did cover all that stuff, and I'm talking about the movie specifically. You don't really feel like it's a galaxy of war. You don't really feel like they're desperate for food. You don't really feel like they're desperate in resources. You don't really feel like they're trying to desperately throw Hail Marys to actually go in. You don't feel you don't care about the people who are fighting. It's just random soldier number one. Rogue One is the first movie that actually that puts names to those faces. You actually care who's fighting. You actually go into it a little bit deeper. So I'm very excited for this. Hopefully that's the direction they want to go. And again, they don't do too much retconning. Diego Luna is one of the best Mexican actors out there. He's done great work throughout his entire career. Well, I'm honestly very excited for this. It could be good, could be great. We'll see. It's going to be a 12-episode series, and it will be set 5 years before the events of Rogue One, and it's being described as a tense, nail-biting spy thriller. So, like I said, this should be fun. At least I'm looking forward to it. We'll see how it goes. Next, we have Star Wars: The Acolyte. Now, this is okay. I'll read you the whole thing. Leslie Headland brings a new Star Wars series to Disney Plus with The Acolyte. The Acolyte is a mystery thriller that will take viewers into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. So, this is the furthest back I think we've ever gone for Star Wars in anything that's live action. Because I think in video games we've gone further back, but this is the furthest thing that we've gone live action, at least live action, or in TV shows or movies. So, the High Republic era, as you can tell, is in a kind of this is the old Republic, the High Republic, when I believe it's in the time period where the Sith Wars happen. I'm not 100% sure on that, but so don't quote me on it. Is this after? Because, all right, for those of you who don't know, the Sith actually used to be a lot of them, and then they implemented the rule of two. I'm not exactly sure what time period that is. I'll have to double check. But anyway, the High Republic era, there's a lot of video games about that, and there's a lot of stories about that. It's actually pretty fun. The key here is Leslie Headland, the showrunner. It's an interesting choice because she's done stuff. She's known for the Netflix show Russian Doll, Sleeping with Other People, About Last Night, The Bachelorette. I just don't. I checked resume, and she hasn't done anything, like superhero related, geeky related, anything really sci-fi related, fantasy, nothing. So why they chose her for this, I don't know. We'll see how it goes, because it's like I said, it's an interesting part of Star Wars history. Honestly, the whole universe is pretty good, but it's an interesting period. Making it a mystery thriller, I don't know. I don't know that if that's what we wanted. Like, if you're going to do something in the High Republic area, you kind of wish it would focus on bigger stuff, right? Mystery thrillers tend to be smaller, but we'll see how it goes. Like, this, honestly, I'm not super excited about, but it could end up being the best of the bunch. We'll see. Call it a dark horse. Next, it's been announced that Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins will be directing the next Star Wars film called Rogue Squadron. So Star Wars Rogue Squadron. I don't know how I feel about this one. Let me read you the thing. So, Rogue Squadron will be the next Star Wars film to be released, and will also mark the first feature film in the long-running franchise to be directed by a woman. Clearly breaking through boundaries, blah, blah. No, that's not what I care about. Okay, the story will introduce a new generation of starfighter pilots as they earn their wings and risk their lives in a boundary-pushing, high-speed thrill ride, and move the saga into the future era of the galaxy. So again, it's not clear what period of time this is happening. If I have to guess, I'm assuming it's between episode 6 and episode 7. But that's just a guess, and I'm speculating. And the reason why I'm not totally on board on this one is because Patty Jenkins, but for those of you who don't know, Patty Jenkins directed Wonder Woman. And recently, and by that I mean a few months ago, I read you a quote from her that said that she does not care about being a part of a bigger universe. Like, the chick who directed Wonder Woman did not care about being part of the DC Cinematic Universe. She just did her own thing. I'm not sure how well that's gonna mix with Star Wars, which is a big universe, and if she doesn't care about mixing in with stuff, it's very concerning. So hopefully, I mean, it has to be in her contract that I mean, Disney has total control over this, so they hopefully rein her in a little, and they make her follow a particular, at least the logic of their world, which I'm quote unquote logic, but whatever. So that would be my main concern. Also, I didn't really like Wonder Woman. I've complained about it a lot, and people are mad at me, but I don't care. It wasn't that great of a movie. It had its moments, but overall, it was not great. Anyway, so supposedly this is going to be coming out Christmas 2023, so we'll be hearing a lot more probably, and I'll be able to give you more information. As of right now, that's all we have. Next, we have... Okay, so it is been announced that Justin Simien is developing a Lando Calrissian event series at Disney+. What does this mean? I don't know. Because an event usually means one-time thing. A series means a regular thing. So maybe it's going to be a yearly thing? I don't know. I doubt it because it makes no fucking sense. But whatever. To me, why don't they just say a mini-series? Or like like a short film. I don't know. This is dumb. But whatever. Supposedly, it's not clear. Again, it's not clear a lot of stuff. They just announced it. We don't know if it's going to be Billy D. Williams or if it's going to be Donald Glover. If I have to guess, I'm guessing they're going to go with the young buck, Donald Glover, but he's going to be more expensive. So, and Billy D. Williams, I don't know if he's doing much. Also, at the end of episode 9, they kind of hinted at Lando maybe going on a new adventure. But there's a lot of adventures that you could explore with Lando. He's kind of a wild card. He's a fun character. He was very exciting to watch in all the films, and he's got a long history that they can actually milk there pretty well. So who knows what's gonna happen? As far as the creator Justin Simien, again, he hasn't done anything like that I would consider to be like geek or nerdy or superhero-y or Star Wars or sci-fi or fantasy related. But we'll see. We'll see. There's not much info other than that. Next, and these are probably the two biggest pieces of news here. Well, not that big, but I care about it. So one is kind of big. The other one, I think it's big, but most people probably don't care about it. So first off, it's been confirmed that there will be 2 Mandalorian spin-offs at the there's 2 Mandalorian spin-offs in the works at Disney Plus, including an Ahsoka Tano TV show. Well, an Ahsoka Tano series. Now, does this mean that it's going to be a mini series, a limited series? We don't know. If it's going to continue the whole thing, we don't know. But it's exciting. I like Ahsoka. I've liked her since the Clone Wars. She had her moments where she's a little bit bratty, but I really, really liked Rosario Dawson. She appeared in the second season of The Mandalorian as Ahsoka Tano. I thought the casting was great. I actually talked with Eddie about this, and Eddie was like, "Isn't Rosario Dawson kind of old for the character?" I'm like, Eddie, Ahsoka Tano is old. She was a teenager in the Clone Wars, so she grew up through the Clone Wars, and then there's the time period between episode 4 and 5. Then there's I believe, how long does between episode 4 and episode 6, it's like 6 years. No, not 6. It's like 2 years total. Then there's a time period after that we're not exactly sure where we're standing. So I think she's the right age. Also, like I said, she did a good job, and maybe it was her, or maybe it was the director, whatever. But they respected the character, and it looks like they know what they're doing. It's not exactly clear right now. Well, it is clear who will be producing it, and it'll be Dave Filoni, who created the Clone Wars, and Jon Favreau are expected to cross over with seasons of The Mandalorian. But like I said, I don't know exactly who will be directing this. Well, we know who the executive producer is. I think he's going to be the showrunner. I'm guessing he's going to direct some stuff, but we'll see. Anyway, it is expected to come out on Christmas 2021. The other piece of news is Rangers of the New Republic. Now, this is going to be another original series. You guys remember, if you've seen The Mandalorian, or if you've seen my reviews of The Mandalorian, I've talked about, pilots of, X-Wing fighters who've shown up. I think this is what that's going to be about. They don't give us much information, but if I have to guess, that's going to be it. Like I said, if I have to guess, it could be younger pilots. They're doing a lot of things with pilots. Like Rogue Squadron is going to be what is it? It's going to be Top Gun in space. Now Rangers of the New Republic. Honestly, it sounds like Power Rangers, which could be pretty cool, but I don't think that's what it's going to be. And if they're Rangers of the New Republic in the outskirts, then we're going to basically see the same characters that we saw in The Mandalorian. If they're in the center of the Republic, the core planets, the outer planets, if they're in the core planets, then we might see some of the old characters. Who knows? Like I said, it's just like they gave us just a little bit of taste, but it's supposedly coming out December next year, at least. At least that's the tease right now. We'll see. Next, and we have to see how this meshes with The Mandalorian. So we'll see. Finally, the final piece of news, and this was the one that was most exciting to me. Most people didn't care, but I cared. We have The Bad Batch. So for those of you who don't know what The Bad Batch is, The Bad Batch is a series, it's a group of characters that were introduced in Star Wars, The Clone Wars, the final season of The Clone Wars, that I remember saying, when I did my review of the final season of The Clone Wars, I was like, the Clone Wars, by the way, it works in arcs, and one of the arcs of the final season, they introduced the Bad Batch, which it's a group of clones that let's just say weren't made properly. They had malfunctions, but that kind of made them badasses. It made them even better. They don't look like clones, and they have special skills, most of them, and they removed the important thing is that they removed their chips. That the chips that caused the Order 66 and all that stuff. Is it 66? I don't know. I just said 66 off the top of my head. I think that's the one. Anyway, so the Bad Batch is like the elite group of stormtroopers they're kind of messed up and crazy. I love them. And when I did the review, I was like, it's really weird that they introduced these guys. Maybe they're going to do a spinoff, but who knows? Well, it's been confirmed, and Disney has revealed a sizzle reel for the next animated series, which will be The Bad Batch. So, this was, like I said, the finale for the Star Wars The Clone Wars was beloved by everybody who loved the series. It was critically acclaimed. Everybody loved it. The sneak peek for this one looks phenomenal. It looks like the Bad Batch trying to survive in the post-Republic New Empire era. It looks great. It looks like it's full of action, full of intrigue. I loved it. Like, just check out the sizzle reel. I highly recommend it. And let me just read you this quick quote from Agnes Chu. She's the senior vice president of content in Disney Plus. Giving new and existing fans the final chapter of Star Wars The Clone Wars has been an honor at Disney Plus, and we are overjoyed by the global response to this landmark series. While The Clone Wars may have come to its conclusion, our partnership with the groundbreaking storytellers and artists at Lucasfilm's Animation is only beginning. We are thrilled to bring Dave Filoni's vision to life through the next adventures of The Bad Batch. So it's going to be pretty much the same crew who did the Clone Wars, which I'm very excited about. Like I said, I highly recommend the Clone Wars. They have a description here. I'll just read you the description. Why was I even trying to do it? I could just read it. The series follows the elite and experimental clones of the Bad Batch as they find their way in a rapidly changing galaxy in an immediate aftermath of the Clone Wars. Members of the Bad Batch, a unique squad of clones who vary genetically from their brothers in the clone army, each possess a singular, exceptional skill which makes them extraordinarily effective soldiers and a formidable crew. In the post-Clone War era, they will take on daring mercenary missions as they struggle to stay afloat and find new purpose. So, that sounds awesome. Basically, it's a group of mercenary clones, bruh. I'm beyond excited for it, and I can't, like I said, I watch the sizzle reel. It looks great. It looks like it's going to be non-stop fun and action. The characters are hysterical. I cannot recommend the Clone Wars enough, and now that the Bad Batch is coming out, I'm recommending it again. Watch it. It's worth it. And just the Bad Batch alone, you're probably going to enjoy it. But I believe that is it for today. I don't have any more Star Wars stuff. Let me just triple check here. Nope. That's it. So that's all the Star Wars stuff that we got from Disney's Investors Day. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Planning on doing the rest, I think, tomorrow or Thursday. It depends. I'm still not 100% sure because tomorrow I may be doing something. Who knows? If you know what? It's going to be a surprise. There you go. So, as always, any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World. Live streaming on YouTube and on Twitch at Super Dario World if you want to join me. I finally figured out how to work the chat, so I'll be able to read chats from now on if I'm live, if I don't forget to open it up. And if you want to check out this video later on YouTube, it'll be loaded probably by tomorrow morning because, yeah, I don't know. I don't control that. But on YouTube at Super Dario World, like, subscribe, all that stuff. I really appreciate it. It really helps out. As always, thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next time.